All right. Welcome to a little bit of a kops session at KubeCon Austin 2017. We got Chris Love, one of my friends and colleagues in the kops community. I'm Eric Hull. I work on the kops project as a contributor and maintainer. I'm also an SRE at Reactive Ops, where we provide Kubernetes consulting to all sorts of businesses, helping people migrate work into Kubernetes. You want to introduce yourself, Chris?
Yeah, thanks for having me today, Eric. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
Really appreciate the opportunity to talk about a passion of mine, which is kops. So my name is Chris Love. I'm a maintainer and I'm a contributor for Kubernetes for close to 2 years now.
It's a good long time.
That's insane.
That's from back in the early days.
Like 1.2.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. But anyways, so work with kops as well as just like Reactive Ops, involved with professional services and training. Working with enterprises to roll out kops on the different platforms that it supports.
Awesome.
So,
Well, for those of our viewers who are not familiar with what exactly kops is, why don't you go into a little bit of an intro about it? Talk about where the project is.
Yeah. So kops is one of the top level installers that the Kubernetes projects have. Of course, you've probably heard of kubeadm. You may not have heard of kops. And really, what our belief is with kops is that we're developing best practices for managing and maintaining and operating a Kubernetes cluster. We're not just an installer. It's a full operations package. And what I mean by that is, when you set up kops within AWS or GCE, which are two platforms that we support, you've got to build a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it takes a little bit to get it sort of production ready and to sort of build out like a real platform.
Well, like IAM roles. Do you really want to mess with IAM roles in AWS?
Who really understands like exactly how they need to be, other than this guy over here? I mean,
the only reason
in the broader community, right?
Right. The only reason that I actually understand them is because I had to rewrite them.
Yeah, and the only reason I understand the networking issues is because that's just
you had to. I
wrote all this stuff for the network.
So, really, and that's what kops abstracts. If you're a shop that you understand this stuff and you want to maintain Terraform files with IAM policies and you want to be involved and you want to track it,
that's great. That takes awesome. A serious commitment.
That takes dedicated staff. It doesn't just take a commitment; it takes dollars.
Yep,
a lot of dollars. Let me just throw that out there. And otherwise, what you can do is you can rely on a community-based tool. It's not just me and Justin, and I'll plug Justin Santa Barbara here because we're really thankful that he created kops.
Justin is,
he's the man. But it implements a best practice methodology and installation process for Kubernetes rather that's stable.
Yeah,
we create the VPC and
it's an end
soup to nuts.
It's an end
soup to nuts. This happens, you have cluster.
Absolutely.
Was it 2 command line switches or 1 command line flag you need in AWS?
Yep.
In GCE you need 2.
Yeah. It can get you going with very little
effort.
But literally from just having a cloud provider account, you can have yourself launched to a full cluster that you can run install any of your applications on or anything like that. And it's going to be a pretty solid thing. And you can continue to upgrade it and otherwise. So it's a pretty nice, I think AWS is declaring it like the official way to install kops.
I don't know about all that, but I think their policy is we've got a bunch of great install tools.
Yep.
What they have done is they're got sample classes that they're promoting right now.
Yep.
Using Kubernetes, since everybody knows EKS is coming.
Yep.
So that's their managed service that they're going to be promoting. That's going to go head to head with GKE.
Yep.
So realistically, what they've done is they looked through all the installers in the community and they said, okay, great, we've got all these wonderful tools. Now what can I teach with? And what they did is they've developed a course around teaching Kubernetes. So it's not just about kops.
Yep.
But in order to teach Kubernetes, you got to get it installed,
you have to have
right?
A cluster somehow.
And they don't have EKS out.
Yep.
So, I imagine eventually when they have a managed service out, they'll do what, the folks at GKE, they just spin up a GKE cluster.
Yep.
Here, go nuts on it. I'll train you in Kubernetes.
Yep.
So,
but until then, until then, kops is the way to do clusters on AWS.
And the interesting thing about kops and the thing that I think gets most new users of kops is really how powerful a tool is based.
Yep.
If you're familiar with Kubernetes, you either love or hate YAML, probably hate. But it's a manifest resource-driven, object-driven environment. Or say you have a deployment, right? That's a manifest. Well, if you're looking at a full CI/CD system, you want to have you want to have artifacts so you can reuse. Mm-hmm. It's one of the bases of CI/CD is repeatable process.
Yep.
So with kops, what we've done is we've implemented the full Kubernetes API versioning system or API layer into it. So we actually have API objects that model a cluster as well as groups or nodes of servers.
So those would be like the cluster spec or instance group specifications that you can use.
And you guys use that methodology for your clients, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll template everything that we need, and then we can basically just do a kops apply-f. Or replace-f, and it will update the cluster in place, which is relatively new for kops, but it's an amazingly awesome feature.
So you guys are using the new templating.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a bit?
We're just dipping our toes into it at this point. So it's a new feature in, was it 1.8, I believe?
Yeah, 1.8.
1.8 came out. Basically, it allows you to
Sunday. Release. We got it out before KubeCon. Pulled that one off.
That one was pretty crazy. But people have been waiting for it for a long time, but I think it's important to get things right, because we've seen sometimes with the Kubernetes releases, they kind of push them out the door, and then there's like 1.8.1 really quick, or 1.8.2, and it just keeps going and bumping the versions up. I wanted to quickly circle back on EKS.
Yes.
So we mentioned that it's a new thing from Amazon that's coming out to go head-to-head with GKE, but how do you think kops fits into the new world in AWS? With this, I think that's a pretty important question.
We were chuckling about this beforehand.
Yep. We should bring it out for the for the viewers.
The day before EKS, the greatest hidden secret by Amazon yet, not. The day before EKS was announced, I filed an issue saying, "Hey, why isn't kops supporting managed clusters?"
Yep.
So if anybody wants to help out with that, we'd love to support GKE, since that API is available right now.
Absolutely.
Love to implement, once the Golang API gets the hooks for EKS, which will probably be the day it's delivered.
Absolutely.
Love to implement that. So that's part of how it is. What my philosophy is that I want to have, and everybody says this, right? I actually want to pull this crap off. I want to have a single pane of glass maintenance operations tool for Kubernetes.
Yeah, that sounds like a great vision.
Managed, self-managed.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah.
You type kops, you're in there.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of other crazy plans for the future as well.
Yeah.
But that's, in terms of EKS, initially, that's where I see us at. Now, are people going to be using EKS and switch off of kops? Absolutely, and they should.
Yeah.
If you're a shop that doesn't have the people or want to spend the resources on managing Kubernetes masters, EKS is an excellent option.
Mm-hmm.
So let me throw that out there. But if you're, say, one of the big users that we have, got a client in Australia, they're in the financial industry, and they just don't fit into managed.
There's a lot of like edge cases and interesting cases that I think maybe wouldn't fit as well into a managed service. I mean, there are a lot of people on Google that GKE is not applicable for, even though GKE is an awesome, I think it's a rock solid, like great offering. And I expect that over time that EKS will be at this same caliber, or likely very similar caliber.
They're Amazon.
It's
going to be really fast.
It'll be really great very, very soon.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to another question. A sort of follow-on question is like, and I think it may be hard to answer this, but how would you gauge EKS as ready for production? Or would you be comfortable putting people onto it day one when it comes out?
So here's what I'm seeing, and this is going to be a weird way to answer this question.
Go for it.
I'm seeing Amazon's reaching out and getting involved in the open source community.
Yeah.
They are putting resources towards problems that we know currently exist, and that's why, from my perspective, they're going to be ready. Is it going to have some quirks? Sure. Is it going to be, interesting opening the floodgates open? Sure. But I tell you what, it's not the first project they've launched.
Not at all. No. They've done
They-
this.
they-
They have more cloud offerings than any other provider out there, and they've kicked ass at all of them eventually.
Yeah.
It may take some time, but
Yeah,
they're gonna get
and
there.
realistically, they're, and it goes back to this way too. Kubernetes kind of runs well on AWS already.
Yeah, it does. It's a
same-
really solid product.
because of the special interest group and because of the people that have really focused on coding it. We've broken it bad already.
Oh yeah.
I've taken down accounts with.
Oh yeah. I've been there. I've watched.
But it's
lots
getting.
of interesting things go
But
by.
between the jump between 1.3 to 1.8 and the future with 1.9, the stability is so much better.
It's amazing the difference between. I remember when we used to do one minor version, so like 1.3 to 1.4, 1.4 to 1.5, and the difference between like 1.3 to 1.4 is probably more than it is between like 1.8 and 1.9 now.
So let me loop back. With all that basis, they're involved in the community. The product's even more stable. They're not introducing new products.
No, not at all.
What they have to do is learn how to manage it and learn how to operate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's doable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who knows exactly how long they've been working on that.
Yeah,
because the strategy's been there. They're just
waiting for the right moment to when it's ready to go.
They're waiting for reInvent.
Yeah, of course. I think for me, one of the things that I find most heartening and most the strongest case for them to be doing well is they've been really investing in community, really investing in the people.
They are now.
They are now. Yeah, absolutely. And it's been amazing to see the sort of switch in that.
Yeah, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep.
I'm the type of person that I believe, put your money where your mouth is.
Yep.
And they need to chop some wood and carry some water.
Yep.
And I think they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Which is really impresses me. And they're very concerned. The way that they're approaching it is community based.
Yep.
They're not coming in saying that we're Amazon
and we're going to change everything and
we're
do it
gonna
our way.
change
We're
the
going to
world.
make things like
Yeah,
they're going
right.
to do the
They're
Amazon way.
very understanding of what the Kubernetes community is and how awesome it is, and they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So, exactly when it's going to be, would I put production workload in it day one? No, because my philosophy is I let other people find the bugs for me.
Yeah, I like that philosophy. I think we do the same thing at Reactive Ops. We tend to we tend to be very conservative with when we're ready to push new versions and when to try new technologies as well. I think we want to
as
offer
conservative as you need to be with Kubernetes.
Exactly.
It's not like
we're still running Kubernetes.
It's not like changing a kernel version. Let's just be fair.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, but I think we're both in this for the same reason, and that's to give our clients a stable and a great experience for their development and for their applications.
And with that, it makes them money and saves them time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, is there anything else that we should be talking about other than shouting out our friends at SIG AWS?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And what I would ask is that if you're interested in kops, interested in reactive ops, reach out to us. But more than that, if you're interested in running Kubernetes on AWS, reach out to the SIG. It's every other Friday. You can find. We'll get the URL up for you guys.
We'll flash on the screen.
But come hang out with us. Find out every other Friday morning.
Yep.
At 9 a.m.
That's Pacific time.
Pacific time.
We have, and then on the other weeks we have kops.
Yep. We have kops office hours.
We don't bite. We're relatively nice unless you ask for features that you're not willing to code yourself. And then I'm just kidding. But we have a good time when we're awake.
Yeah, absolutely. But get involved in the community is the other thing that I ask everybody that's interested in Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Because through more people and getting involved and through more outside perspective, we're going to keep this wave going. We're at the point where we're rocking it. But now comes the tough work of keeping that momentum going.
Yep.
And it's going to be, the next 4 or 5 years of Kubernetes. Going to be a really interesting time, I tell you what. But I want to keep that greatness and that excellence moving.
Yeah, and this community has been one of the most inviting and welcome. It's just an awesome community to be a part of. We have 4,000 people at KubeCon this year.
Dude,
how many?
4,200 people.
4,200 people.
We have more people in Austin at KubeCon that have been to any other KubeCon before.
Yeah, and it's incredible. The sense of energy and like innovation and just good things going on down here is awesome. Hopefully we'll all be here for the next KubeCon.
Absolutely.
Who knows where it's going to be at this point?
Well, they got Shanghai coming up. They got Copenhagen as well. So
Shanghai. I mean,
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Shanghai, but I've been to Shanghai, but
Absolutely.
I don't know how much Kube I would be doing there. I'd be enjoying China.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, well,
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for making time, Chris.
Absolutely.